I kept things under control and didn't need to rely on the business heavily to support me. Because there were years, I would pay myself a real nominal paycheck of $50,000 or so and wouldn't cash the
Wow.
checks.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
What happened? What became? What when you have a big volume, this happen more than you think. So tell us any story about expansion, Matt. How was the
Yeah,
biggest challenge and how you overcome that challenge?
the cash flow, I think, is always a concern by definition, an entrepreneur is willing to take on more risk than others. And so any entrepreneur that doesn't come from money, I came from nothing. And so there was always for me the cash flow stretch, and I tended to push it far. As I got bigger, what I needed to learn is, I had to learn to model like down case scenarios and learn to think through, well, what is plan B if plan A isn't working, and what does it look like? Whereas early days, I didn't know those skills yet. So it really was a scramble, and sometimes borrow from Peter to pay Paul. Really, when I started expanding, this is a real scenario in the first 5 shops. You had the first one that was making money. You had one that was losing money.
Oh
Another one that was breaking even, and another one that was losing money. And so basically net everything was kind of even. I was scared to death of opening number 5, because if number 5 wasn't making money right away, it could bring the whole thing down. And so
And now you're working more, Matt. You're working more. That's happened to me as well with the houses.
Yeah.
I have 7 houses. Say, okay, let me expand. And then I expanded to 14 houses. And I'm like, how come I'm making the same money and I'm working more? It turns out that I thought that, okay, my problems will duplicate. They don't duplicate, because now if you have 7 houses, I just have my tenants people that I can call out, and they did. But if I have 14 houses, I need 2 people in a van 24/7. And now what I thought that is gonna be duplicated, and the problems combined. If you have 7 houses, you have the problem of these 7 houses. If you have 14 houses, you have the problem of these 7, the other problem of these 7, plus the other problem that these 2 together generate, that nobody count on this until you need to hire an accountant. You need to move on, because now the accounts are bigger and things like this. So tell us what happened there, because I've been there, so I know what you feel. Like you are like 5, you think I'm expanding, and then you sit at home and say, look, I'm working more. How is it possible? I supposed to be making 5 times the money. So how you overcome the challenge, Matt?
I think that took a long time. My business didn't take off for a long time. So there was, 2 decades of work going into, and one thing personally for me
doesn't happen overnight, right?
Not at all. And one thing that I did do that helped is I didn't ever take money out of the business of any significance. I wasn't out trying to buy a big new toy or live
you never have anything anyway, right?
Yeah. So I mean
Not
that
you
did
really
help a
need
lot
it.
in that
If you never have
a
a Ferrari, you don't want to buy a Ferrari, right?
Yep, exactly. So for me not strapping the business and taking a lot out personally
I was very wise.
always helped it. Where understanding some might not be in a position to do that, but I was able to, keep life pretty simple outside of the business. The business was always pushing it to the limit, but outside of that, I kept things under control and didn't need to rely on the business heavily to support me. Because there were years, I would pay myself a real nominal paycheck of $50,000 or so and wouldn't cash
Wow.
the checks. It wouldn't cash the
Wow.
checks for half a year, right? Because the business, if I'd have cashed them, then the bank account would have went negative. So it was really delaying the personal gratification was a key to maneuvering that for me as well.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.